What's going on, everyone? I'm back with another video here. It's not the second part to Destroyed, which will be up later today, so be watching out for that. This is on a synth that I've been meaning to put up for at least 3 months or so. I just never really got around to it. I kind of related it to a Skism style synth, so that's what you should be listening for, is something along the lines of what he would kind of play in his songs. So I'll go ahead and play the synth here and control the macros and modulate the sound a little differently. That way you can kind of get an idea of what you're in for. And if you want to stick around, please do. If not, still stick around. And for this dull macro, it kind of works best if you don't have the resonance macro modulating at all. I'll go ahead and play the dull macro here and show you what it sounds like with this, and it just destroys the synth entirely. As you can hear, it kind of dulls that out, but once you put that resonance on there, it really just destroys the synth. But it is what it is. You guys can do what you want with them. You don't have to throw these the same way I did, but if you want to just follow along with the video, it'll be a lot easier for you. Oscillator 1, we're on Scrapyard, Spectrum, -2 octaves on the pitch, wavetable position is all the way to the left, intensity is all the way to the right, amp is all the way up. Set that to filter 1, and throw a macro to control your pitch on there. Pitch it up 1 octave. Oscillator 2, Scrapyard, Spectrum, -2 on the pitch, wavetable position is at about A30, intensity is all the way up, amp is all the way up. Set that to filter 2, throw your pitch macro on there, pitch it up 1 octave. Oscillator 3, Scrapyard yet again, Spectrum, -2 octaves, wavetable position is just under 9 o'clock, intensity is at about 330, amp is all the way up. Set that to filter 2. Also throw your pitch macro on that oscillator, pitch it up 1 octave. Our modulation oscillator, we have that controlling 2 oscillators, which would be 1 and 2. The pitch is at 0, and our ring mod is set to oscillator 1. It's all the way to the left, and throw your macro that you want to control the dullness, which mine is set to 5, so if you want, throw 5 on there, pitch it all the way up. Phase is set to macro 1. Our knob is set to about 10 o'clock, and that brings out the resonance of the synth. So mine is set to macro 3, so throw macro 3 on there, set that to almost 3 o'clock. And our filter FM is all the way to the left, and it's set to oscillator 2, and it's for the grittiness of that synth. Throw macro 4 on there, put it all the way up, and put your pitch macro on there and pitch it up 1 octave. Our noise oscillator set to bright, color is all the way up, amp is all the way up, set that to 50% on the filter. Feedback is at about 10 o'clock. Throw your dull macro on the amp and drag it to about 10 o'clock. It's 50% on the filter. Insert 1, parabolic shaper, dry wet is at 100%, drive is at 100%. Insert 2, sine shaper. Our dry wet is just under 12 o'clock, and our drive is at about 11:30. Now for our filters, we have it set to a low pass 4, and set your cutoff to 3 o'clock. Our resonance is just under 9 o'clock. Our volume's all the way up. Our mix is just past 50%, so maybe 55%. It is 50% between series and parallel here. Filter 2 is set to daft. Cutoff is at about 10 o'clock. Resonance is at 0%. Our volume is all the way up. Our effects, we have it set to classic tube. Dry wet is at about 11:30. Our drive here is also at about 11:30. Effects 2, dimension expander. Our dry wet is just past 12 o'clock. Size is at about 12:30. Our EQ boosts the low shelf a little bit, and our boost is at 12 o'clock. Frequency is at about 11:30, and our high shelf is boosted a little bit. Onto our oscillator tab, I have our pitch bend here, up 1 octave, down 1 octave, and our portamento is at 12 o'clock. That's all for that tab. Our voicing, 4 unison, monophonic, legato triller. Our pitch cutoff is on. Set our width macro, and that's the macro that controls the width of the synth, obviously. Throw that there. I have it set to 0.07 on the pitch modulation. That's kind of like my default limit there. That's always, I don't go above 7, and anything past that just really just throws the synth off, whether it's a lead, a bass, whatever you're dealing with. 0.07 is always what I go for. I don't go above that. So maybe you guys should just kind of give that a shot and see how it works out for you. Pan position is on. Set it to mono. Also throw your width macro on there and drag it all the way to the left, and drag this all the way to the left. Our routing, I have insert 2 controlling filter 1 and insert 1 controlling filter 2. And our feedback is ran just before the amp here, so you want to select that. For our envelope 2 here, that's controlling our filter 1 low pass 4. All I did was just bring back the attack so that it's there's not much of a glide to it. Bring down the level and bring up the release to just under 9 o'clock. And for envelope 4, just bring your level all the way up. And what's really going to give it that 16th note modulation is our LFO here. I have it set to sine wave and set that to where it looks like this. Our crossfade is all the way up. Sync is also selected, and our ratio is set to 16th notes. Our amp is all the way up here. And as you can tell, I'll turn this off, and you're just going to get one straight sound. So this is what the synth sounds like without any LFO modulation. So you can do what you want with it, but I kind of like the effect of having the LFO modulating the synth. So that's pretty much it. Another thing you could kind of do if you want is throw some reverb on there. The reverb that I'm using here is the Valhalla Room reverb. You can get some neat effects out of this thing. For instance, I'll just play a note here and you can kind of see where it leads to. You can use it for an uprising through the intro of a song, a downriser, whatever you want to do. It gives you all kinds of neat effects. Really start mess around with your macros here, because it'll also affect how this sounds. So that's that. You don't have to do the same exact settings that I did here for the reverb. You don't even have to use this reverb. Just figure out whatever you want to do. It's no big deal. I just figured it was kind of nice. So like I said earlier, stay tuned for the second part to Destroyed Bounce. It will be up today. And thanks for watching this video, guys. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I'm going to be uploading a lot more videos here within the next couple weeks. My Facebook page also, bring in some traffic over there. I'm always posting videos that I don't post on YouTube. And I finally made a Twitter, so I will put that link in the description. Follow me on Twitter. We can kind of hit up, on a personal basis there, and a lot more requests kind of come through on my Facebook and my Twitter. So hit me up there, and I'll see you guys later.